guys, Django here, and welcome to episode 13 of this Valhelsia Enhanced Vanilla Hardcore kind of Let's Play. And if you you're coming right from my previous video, you'll notice that the lava's gone. We had a cauldrons here with the lava farm. I've moved it. So let's take a look around and see what changes I've made since the last episode, and we'll talk about where we're going to head next. Here's where the lava went. I have set up a massive dripstone lava farm here, but it's not fully connected. And you're wondering maybe where are the Applied Energistics cables? If we take a look underneath, these are cable facades. These aren't bricks. And if we shift right click with a Applied Energistics wrench, quartz wrench, we can break these facades, and these are facades here as well. So these are cable covers, and they make things nice and neat. So we can just... I lost one. That's fine. We'll see how to make one. So we've got just one row that's getting pulled out, and otherwise we're doing the rest manually with cells. Just kind of every once in a while coming by here and putting them into our ME chest. So we've been collecting a lot of lava that way. And that is keeping our thermal generators running and producing lots of power for us. And so we're in pretty good shape power-wise. I've also made some changes here. There used to be an ME controller right in this spot right here, and I replaced it with dense smart cable, which allows me to have 32 channels. And you can see up there, I've moved the controller up to the next floor up, so we can expand it, and we'll head up there next. But we can see all these things are being run now, which they were all being run in a controller with 8 channels and 8 channels and 8 channels, all in 19 channels in going into this dense cable. Everything else down here is pretty much the same. We head up here. Here's where we've expanded and done a little more work. So we moved the controller up here. We added another one just because we don't really need it yet. And I've added a whole bunch more molecular assemblers and pattern providers, a second set of access terminals, crafting terminals, and I've kind of carved out this space, which is going to be our new Applied Energistics and Tech Reborn room. We've got power right here. We've got our controllers. I kind of put this frame right here so we can see this is the maximum square you can make, 7 by 7. Of controllers, and you actually do 7 by 7 by 7 controllers. So we could go out another 7 this way and basically make a cube, and each one of those sides will handle 32 channels with dense cable. So we're not going to need that, but I wanted to just draw that picture there. And otherwise, I've kind of just been carving this out. It needs a lot of work. I mostly just wanted to make some space. Let's take a look outside quickly. So you can see I've got lots of rooms with glass poking out. It's really ugly. We've got a lot of work to do to clean that up. I've moved the rubber trees as well and made a rubber tree that is actually, it's actually 3 stacked rubber trees. And that's a trick we can do to get all the rubber automatically from basically those 3 trees that are growing there. So in order to expand our system further, and deal with do the automation with Applied Energistics to get all these lava cauldrons automated, we need more import buses. And import buses require slime balls. And we have a severe shortage of slime. We actually got one more from our recycler since last time. We used them all up to build the lava farm last time. And so we got one more slime ball, but we have, if you recall, I don't even remember how to get to them. Behind this wall here, we've got our magma spawner and magma cubes. So we have all the magma we could possibly use, and we can make slime with it in an industrial centrifuge. So with 2 magma creams, we can get a blaze powder and a slime ball. So that'll set us up with all the slime we could possibly need. But that means we need a centrifuge, which is a pretty good target for a session with Tech Reborn. So in this episode, we're going to work our way to a industrial centrifuge and build everything we need to get there. So let's take a look at the industrial centrifuge. It requires an extractor. A lot of people get hung up on this. The aluminum plates is one recipe, but which requires a blast furnace, which you need a centrifuge to make a blast furnace. So some people get hung up on that and think it's a loop. But there's another recipe which has refined iron, and that's easy. That's just smelting iron. And we need an extractor, some advanced machine frames. The two advanced machine frames is the trickiest of these recipes. We need some carbon plate, basic machine frames easy, and advanced alloy plate, which requires advanced alloy, which requires mixed metal. And there's a lot of recipes for mixed metal. There's some really expensive ones with like tungsten steel and titanium that give higher yields for those. You need 3 of each. But if we go down the bottom here, there's some brass and zinc recipe where we get two ingots from these. It's a lot of resources for just to get 2, but so there's a lot of ways to make the advanced alloy. So let's start with automating all this stuff with recipes. So, and we can make these in the encoding terminal. We need some more recipes. I think I left a few downstairs, but let's start patterns. And let's just make a bunch of patterns. Let's start with 11. And we just go through this process here. Put these in here. Industrial centrifuge. We start with the end first and make a pattern. Nope, we don't want that pattern. So to clear a pattern, we just hold it in our hand and shift right click in the air and it clears it. So the centrifuge, we want this recipe, which is refined iron. Now this requires an extractor and an advanced machine frame. And we can put these, now you can see we've got all kinds of empty slots because we've got a bunch of new pattern providers over there. So let's just put these in here. And now we can see more easily what we're going to need to make our industrial centrifuge. So if we now search here, we can craft it. And next, and so we have everything we need except for 4 advanced alloy plates and 4 carbon plates. Now this is going to have to be manual because we don't have the machines for these yet. If we take a look at carbon plate is made by compressing, we have a compressor, by compressing carbon mesh. Carbon mesh is made with 2 carbon fibers just in a crafting table. We can make a pattern for that. And carbon fiber we can get from coal dust. Again, in a crafting table. So let's make patterns for because they're crafting patterns, not processing patterns. Let's make some patterns for the carbon mesh. And the carbon fiber with this recipe here. And to get coal dust, we're going to need to use the grinder. So we're going to need to make a grinder to get coal dust from coal. We probably have a bunch already from our recycler. Maybe we can get by. Not very much. So I don't think we're going to get there. So let's make a pattern for the grinder. Which requires flint, cobble, machine frame, circuit. Very easy to make a grinder. Let's put these things in our assemblers. And now we should be able to make a grinder. We have everything we need for a grinder. And we will get that set up over here. I want to get these. This might not be the final place, but I want to have them off the ground so you can put things under them to pull things out. Because we're going to have these all lined up. And so pulling things from the bottom will be easiest. We can actually use hoppers. We've got our gold cable. We're living dangerously, having our gold cable bare. So now our grinder has power. We need some coal. We've got some downstairs in our smelters. Let's just steal some of this. We're not going to need these smelters, these iron furnaces much longer. And we'll get some coal grinding. Just do a stack of coal. Okay, now while this is happening, let's look at the advanced alloy. So again, for advanced alloy, these recipes down near the bottom are a little more accessible to us. And the easiest one, I think, is this one here. Bronze, tin, brass, and bronze. Bronze we can make in the alloy smelter with copper and tin. I think I've already got a bunch of bronze. Let's just see if we can make that. We can. We made the bronze last time in the smelter. So now we need to smelt the mixed metal ingots. And that will turn into advanced alloy. Over here, let's grab this machine, move it upstairs. We'll put the compressor right next to the grinder. And power it. We should have our advanced alloy by now. We do. Having a pattern, even if you're not autocrafting everything, is really handy. So in order to make these 2 advanced machine frames, we're going to need 4 advanced alloy plates. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do them all. We'll need those. And we can speed these up with upgrades, but we'll just wait it out for now. So after we make these carbon plates and advanced alloy plates, we will be able to make our industrial centrifuge. Then we'll be able to make slime balls. We're almost there. Okay. So if we put all these things into our inventory, we just have to make the carbon plates. To make the carbon plates, we need 4 carbon mesh. We're still missing some coal dust. We have to compress the mesh. This will be much easier when we have processing pattern providers and import buses to pull everything back in, and this will all be automatic. While we're waiting for that, let's go kill some of these things. Need a way to access them without dying. You know what we're going to do? Let's get a fence. It's right here. Okay, turn on our magnet, our pulsar. And we've got 19 magma creams. Okay, that's good for now. Heading back up, our mesh should be done. And now we put this into our system, picking up some stuff from our pans by turning on our pulsar down there. So we're going to probably need to move that away from the pans if we're going to rely on the pulsar for that. Okay, so now we can make the centrifuge. There it is. Go. We can take a look in here at the status. And it's done. Now we have a centrifuge. which is really the gateway to all sorts of stuff in Tech Reborn. Now, if we put our magma cream in here, we need to power it. Put our magma cream in here. Very slow. But that's okay. We can wait for slime balls. Especially if we just want to go kill some more of these guys while that's cooking. Yeah, so we need to move this to a space that is much bigger to allow these guys to spawn. Now we got this spawner from a bastion. If you didn't watch that episode way back early in the series, there's a series just as me collecting spawners, and this is one of them. And finally we get to use it, which is neat. Okay, we got another 20. And so far we've got one slime ball. It's time to start thinking about some speed upgrades. So this Overclocker Upgrade is what we need. So let's make some patterns for that. And there's 3 recipes here. You do not have access to those, but a water coolant cell, that's easy. And a water coolant cell. You make with a bucket of water and tin ingots. Let's just go get a bunch of actual buckets. We've got 6 buckets here. Let's free up some inventory space and just go grab 6 buckets. And that should give us enough. We can actually fill our system with water and then fill the buckets from our system manually. Got some water here. Let's grab 16. Good job, Scott. Took it too fast. Oh, 2 floors up. Okay, now if we can, we put the water right in here because we have the fluid storage cell, and we can just put these buckets in here. And now can we craft an upgrade? What if we wanted 4? Oh, it's just using the water for that. All right, we'll need to set up a drain to pull water in automatically. So I guess Tech Reborn is smart enough to use water instead of a bucket. And here's our overclockers. And we just put them in here. All right, so now that we've got a few slime balls, we can make our importers, and we can make 3 importers for those 3 machines. Import buses. We need 3 of them. And we want to connect them to our network. We're going to break. Now we put our 3 import buses here. And now if we configure these things, they're slots. Output is orange, and I think they're going now. We don't need it on auto output. And so now those are going to feed into our system. It's slow. We can upgrade our import buses with acceleration cards. It'll go faster. Okay, now these machines will automatically send stuff back into our ME network. And now we need 3 pattern providers. All right, we need 3 of these. Now these need to go up here. And then we need to connect them. And that's going to be 3 channels for each, and 3 channels for each, for a total of 6 channels being used over here. So we could put 1 more machine on here. We need to configure these for the tops to be the input. Again, I don't think they need to be auto. This has 2 inputs. I think it's just going to be smart enough to do the right thing. Now if we look, because we've got pattern providers up here, if we look in our axis terminal, we're going to see the compressor, grinder, and centrifuge. So now if we, let's make patterns for those, for the carbon plate. And that is going to be a compressor pattern. And note that this is a processing pattern, not a crafting pattern, which means it's not going to use one of these assemblers. It's going to use an external machine, and it's just going to put the things into the machine and get them out, and it just marks it done when it sees things come back into the network. So now we can make 1 carbon plate. And into our compressor. And when that's done, if we look at our crafting status, it pulled back in because of our import buses. Now we've got automated centrifuging, compressing, and grinding. Let's make I think we're out of patterns. We are short on glowstone. Let's just make a few. Let's just make 1. And this will be the last one we do, which is going to be making slime. The centrifuge. So it's got 2 magma creams, and it's going to make these 2 things. So it has processing pattern, 2 magma creams, 1 slime ball, 1 blaze powder comes out. So now, if we want to make we might need to make a separate pattern to make the slime ball, the primary one. Can we make 1 more blank pattern? We cannot. Do we have some glowstone? Yes, we do. We have a grinder now. I was going to say, let's pick a pattern, but we can't. Okay, 2 patterns, and guess what we're going to make out of these. We're going to swap get a slime ball. We're also going to make glowstone dust. Grinder. And the glowstone dust goes into the grinder. And our slime ball recipe goes into our centrifuge. Even though those are the same, the primary one is going to be used when autocrafting. So we need, apparently, 2 patterns. So now we can make more patterns. Because we've got these glowstones. will automatically make our glowstone dust. Since we've got the slot, let's make one more machine, which is the electric furnace. Do we have a pattern for it? I don't think we do. Do we have a pattern for the iron furnace? These are crafting patterns, so these go into molecular assemblers. Power, cable on top and bottom. We need one more import bus, which we can make now. And we need one more pattern provider and a flat one. Import bus there. Pattern provider there. Configure the top for input and configure the bottom for output. And now we've got furnace. Finally, let's make a pattern for refined iron, which I believe can use an electric furnace. Even though it's not displayed, let's try it. Ouch. Yep, it's working. Now the electric furnace does not have the XP button on it like the iron furnace does. So we're not going to be able to get XP from these things, but that's okay. We've got plenty of XP from other places. So now we've used up all 8 channels on this right here. We could put a dense one on here and then connect, use 32 channels. Or we can just run another smart cable off another side and set up another bank of 4 machines. All right, I think we're going to wrap up there. We went into a lot of detail on setting up the automation for these 4 Tech Reborn machines. I hope it was useful. I didn't want to go too fast over it because it gets pretty complicated setting up all these different types of crafting and processing patterns. Now that I can make slime, I'm going to go automate the rest of my lava farm. So if you like this series, please subscribe. It helps a lot. Like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.